Don't sweat the technique.
Hello again, everybody. This is DJ Technique coming back at you from the 206, Seattle, Washington. Today we're going to do a little bit more of an in-depth tutorial on DVS, digital vinyl. It's awesome. It is a huge part of the reason I came back to doing DJing and stuff. I left it in the 90s for a while when the crates and the turntables got to be too much for me. But honestly, MIDI is just not complete without the full 12-inch control vinyl, man. There's something about that whole 12 inches that just, you know, anybody will tell you, man. The size doesn't matter, okay? Anyway, we're going to talk about how to dial it in. We're going to talk about getting it set up, all that stuff. So, my setup here, I'm using some pretty old school turntables. These are Stanton STR8 60s. These are pretty much what you could consider probably the bottom of the barrel as far as professional turntables, to be honest, like, just being real. And I love them. They work well enough for me. What I've done to try and upgrade the situation a little bit, you can see here, those are Ortophone cartridges. That's the Concord model, and they definitely are an improvement over the stock Stanton heads for sure. They're expensive, and you want to take care of them once you got them because that's some money. But definitely an awesome upgrade. Turn these bottom of the barrel turntables into something I'm actually totally comfortable scratching and playing on for sure. You can't just expect your DVS to sound amazing right off the bat, because this needle will literally pick up ambient noise coming into it from anywhere, any source. So to begin your DVS setup, what you're going to want to do is come into setup. Of course, you already have to purchase DVS if you don't have a controller that came with it, such as the SXZ. Where are we at? Control? Nope. Audio. Oh, that's right. They actually add this right here on the outside of your entire setup, and that's what we're going to be messing with. Now, on this model, the Denon MCX 8000, DVS is only able to control decks 4 and 3. And I kind of prefer that, to be honest. I think that's a smarter channel setup. On the DDJ SX2, you can only use DVS on channels 1 and 2. I would prefer it on 3 and 4, to be honest. But, you know, you get what you get, and you're going to have to just deal with it. So, in order to compensate for the amount that they'll pick up from ambient outside noises and stuff, we're going to play a track on a different deck, deck 2, not from the DVS itself. Okay, here we go. Now you want to make sure that this is about the volume you're going to be playing for the evening, and your speakers are set up the way you're going to have it for the evening. You want to run through this every time you set up to perform. Now you come up in here. I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but I'm going to take this and I'm going to hit the estimate button. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now, what that just did was it automatically adjusted the noise sensitivity for me based on an outside audio source, which turned out to be very close to the stock settings, about -48 in there somewhere. It should be fine. Now we got that dialed in. Now we're going to see what our DVS signal looks like. So go ahead and play a DVS signal source. Now I don't know if you can see that, but that's a terrible looking signal, to be honest. We don't want that at all. We're going to go ahead and we're going to zoom out a little bit. That looks better already. You want to have a nice round circle within a 2x2 square. That is a much better DVS signal than what I had starting out with. Alright. Let's see, I don't even know if I got something on 3.
To all my ladies, yeah.
Same deal, we're going to adjust this one in over here. That is a much better signal than what we had before. 2x2 grid. 2x2 grid and as round, nice, even circle as you can get it. Now, once you got all that dialed in, you got yourself the best of both worlds. On these control vinyls, I don't know if you can hear this, we'll see. On these control vinyls, the only sound they actually make, it's called a time code. It's just a little hum. And then you can load any of your digital tracks right over that and have the control of a full-size vinyl with all of the benefits of a modern digital MIDI controller. It's amazing. You got your rolls, your loops, your cues, pretty much all the features you can do on a deck, on the controller, you can do on these with the exception of few. It eliminates the need for the little dicers. Those are basically just cheaper, more difficult to use controllers, MIDI controllers that you attach to your turntables directly. This definitely gives you a more full set of effects, all sorts of options. The DVS, in my opinion, is just great. A few things you cannot do with it. Unfortunately, I was pretty sad about this. You cannot mix and match. You can't have a CDJ over here with an audio time code and your vinyl over here. You can do either vinyls or you can do CDJ audio timecode CDs. You cannot do one of each, which is what I was hoping. I wanted to make a hybrid setup. That is not possible with DVS alone. You're going to have to get yourself unlocked DVS and some HID capable devices as well. HID control is supposed to be amazing though, even better than DVS from what I understand. I have not personally played with a lot of HID control. So yeah, if you are new to the MIDI DJ scene and you've never played with vinyl, I recommend still finding some time to experiment and realize the difference between the control on the two. If you're an old school turntable DJ and you got frustrated with it, gave it up, or are ready to make the switch and be able to have a lot more convenience and options available to you, I highly recommend this. I love DVS. So I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little gray bar underneath that says sync. And if you move it around too fast, you get out of sync even with your digital time code. You see the red bar at the end there, that's what happens, it builds up, you get out of sync. So it really helps to make sure that you have your needles properly weighted, and it takes a little time just to dial it in, find out what's the best anti-skip for you, everything working just right. Like, do some research on the type of needles you're using, what's the correct weight, what's going to give you the best sound and performance for your style of DJ. Don't be afraid to do a little research. Alright, guys. Well, that's a pretty good quick intro to DVS. That gets to a lot more of the points than most of the guys who show DVS. They usually just want to show off a little scratching, which that's fine too. But if you want to know a little bit more of the details, how to set it up, tune it up, it's not the perfect solution. Like I said, I wish we could do one vinyl, one CDJ or something, have a nice hybrid setup. But I recommend it for anybody who's into mixing, scratching. The DVS, it's a game changer. It's wonderful to have that option available to you. Alright, YouTube, I love you guys. Stay real.